I see Trump is like a hammer, you know, and to a hammer, everything is a nail. And in this regard, I mean, he's a businessman. So when he's dealing with these other countries, he sees business opportunities. Think about what he just did with Ukraine and Russia. So leading up to his inauguration, there's been this war brewing between Ukraine and Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine. Joe Biden's administration loaned them billions of dollars. I think it was over $300 billion. Not even a loan, just gave it to them. And then Trump comes along and says, okay, yeah, you got that $300 billion, but we're going to need you to sign a contract which gives us access to upwards of $500 billion in cobalt. You don't have money, you can't pay us back. And so initially, President Zelensky, who's the president of Ukraine, said, hell no. Y'all never said y'all was gonna make us pay that back. I done bought these yachts over here and whatnot. My wife got this Lambo. And then Trump said, okay, well, see, if you don't sign this contract, then this war is gonna continue. And Russia, who's already taken over territory, is gonna take over everything. So you really don't have a choice. Either you give us access to the cobalt, or and it's just straight up ours, or you get invaded and Russia turns you back into its little bitch again. I'm sorry, excuse the language. I'm trying to work on the profanity on social media, but basically that's what it is. Russia wants his bitch back. Joe Biden fumbled the ball when they got out of Iraq. Putin said, well, hell, this is the perfect time to invade. We're gonna go down there and get our main chick back, and we're gonna be back rolling. And that's, in a nutshell, what happened. So now Zelensky is like, okay, I definitely don't want Russia to take over because I'm not trying to get pimp slapped, you know, for the rest of eternity. We know that was like a bad relationship. Okay, so, you know, what kind of freedoms or what kind of protection are you gonna offer? Trump said nothing. We're not gonna offer you anything. We're just gonna come over there and dig up all this cobalt and send it back to America. And he said, well, I'm not even getting anything. And then the thing is, having America there, having military folks there to protect those people who are mining, that's sufficient. Russia's not going to invade knowing that America's over there, knowing that the U.S. has interest in it. And that's all you get. I mean, it's beautiful the way he did it. You know, even this new deal with the gold card. I saw a press conference today, and Trump said, yeah, we're going to sell these gold cards, 5 million. He had this little immigration guy there. He said, yeah, we're going to try to sell 250,000. Trump said 250,000. Shoot, if we sell 1 million, here we sell 1 million, that's a $1 trillion. If we sell 10 million, these $5 million gold cards, which are basically green cards for people who are willing to pay $5 million. He said, yeah, we can get companies that they can sponsor 5 people, give us 25 million, we'll let your people in, they can have as many rights as a green card holder have, except they didn't have to wait in line. He said, we're gonna make $1 trillion. If we sell 10 million, we're gonna have we're gonna $50 million. We'll be out of debt instantly. I'm like, wow. So like I said, when you're dealing with a hammer, everything looks like a nail, okay? And so for years, we've had politicians, professional politicians, and they see the world from a different perspective. War, peace treaties. All Trump sees is money and business opportunities. So if you properly position yourself over the next 5, 10, 15 years, man, this man is setting folks up to be rich. Now, the thing is, if you poor, you're going to be poor. Because now, if Trump has his way, there's going to be an influx of very well-off, highly motivated people. Can you imagine that? We're trying to get rid of 10 million immigrants, and he's going to bring 10 million new immigrants in, except these are going to be the rich ones. We just don't want poor people in our new America. That's basically what Trump said. We don't want you poors here, but we'll bring all people. He said specifically about China, one of the press corps said, well, what about China? Are we going to screen the people from China? He said, I don't have a problem with China. If they got their $5 million, they can send whoever they want to over here. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is, man. It's an interesting turn. Trump is clearly not a politician. He is clearly a businessman, and he sees everything as a business opportunity. And man, I'm not mad at him, man. America's a business, you know. You need to run it like a business, and we'll see what happens. But I'm enjoying the play-by-play. I like what I see so far, and I know there's a lot of people out there hurting because you lost your jobs. But the thing is, for those people who are federal employees, the reason that you're not getting a lot of people feeling sorry for you is because the taxpayers are paying your salary. And, you know, I know it's your job, but it's also our money. And in case you haven't realized this, most taxpayers really think the government is inept, doesn't really do anything, it's not helpful. If you've ever called the government phone line, typically you get no help. You get correspondence late, they don't care. They scrutinize you, but when we want to scrutinize the government, guess what? Nothing. You know, that's the problem with the government. They get to audit you and figure out what you know, go down to every scrap and every dollar you've spent. But now when it's their turn to be audited, specifically some of these agencies and how they've been spending our money, they're hemming and hawing about how this is unconstitutional and unfair. And so the American public is like, nah, we're getting the get back that we wanted. That's who Trump is. Trump is payback. And the American public likes it. And so that's why there's really not going to be any sympathy for those federal workers who have been laid off up to 200,000. They don't really care. I mean, you're not going to really get any sympathy from folks because, you know, they feel like you need to come on in the private sector and fight it out like the rest of us have, you know, instead of having those cushy government jobs that pay and there's low scrutiny and you don't have a whole lot of oversight and all those rights. Where the average American gets fired at will. The boss can call you in at 10 o'clock and 10:05, you're fired with no explanation. So either way, it's all of that is showing that we are now running America like a business. I like what I see. I mean, it's a different term, a different turn in running it like a governmental agency, a bureaucracy, all that unnecessary paperwork. I want to see America move, and anybody who loves America and wants a great future for our children, we know that the direction that we were headed, almost $40 trillion in debt, burdened down, people unmotivated, the divide between rich and poor increasing. You know, people want to try something new. So that's what we got going on. But we'll see what happens, man. I'll talk to y'all later.